Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. And today, my amazing guest, Lisa Marree, is back again for another episode. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure and share this with all your friends. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Master Connector Show, Hope 107.9 Radio in Albany, Oregon, and the Alzheimer's Association. For more information on the Master Connector Show at 1 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday, go to masterconnector.show. And for more information on Hope 107.9 Radio, Hope for Life, and the great, amazing content they broadcast, go to hope1079.com. Finally, for the Alzheimer's Association and how to give to this amazing organization, go to alz.org. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Ta-da! Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, a.k.a. hashtag Russ Selfie, on another amazing Monday. I'm so excited. We are here with you again. And, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. Guess what? After we go live, which is, like I said, at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, it sits on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and you can watch it forever, or at least on LinkedIn and YouTube you can, and for Facebook for 30 days. So you can go back and you can listen again. You can share with your friends. You can do so many great things. But guess what? After that, it actually converts to audio podcast and you can listen. So if you missed it viewing, you can listen. And I tell you, it is so many opportunities to catch my amazing guest, Lisa Marree, who's going to be on today. And you do not want to miss it for sure. So, all right. Well, listen, I am super excited. And I just want to tell you a few things today about me and about Marketing with Russ. First of all, you know what? I'm all about inspiring and encouraging. And I'm here to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. That's right. That's what my why is all about. I want to help you do amazing things, the amazing things that God created you to do. And so today, you can raise the bar. You can push the limits. You can do amazing things if you put your mind to it. You know what? When you think about things and your thoughts are thinking in a positive way, you have that positive mindset, you can accomplish so much. You can accomplish more than you ever thought was possible. So today, I want to encourage you to do that. Whether you're talking about your marketing or your business, whatever, or your personal life. So a lot of people say to me, well, listen, you know what? So this show is Marketing with Russ, and you're always talking connection because you're right. I'm all about connection and community building because I believe connection and community building are the foundation of anything in life, especially your marketing plan or your business for sure. You need people, as Zig Ziglar said, the great Zig Ziglar, build the people and then the people build your business. And I tell you, I work to be around amazing people. In fact, there is a group, Zig Ziglar's son and his former assistant, and a lot of people that knew Zig Ziglar personally. I did not know him personally, but I get to hang around them once a week. They have an amazing actual Bible study on Mondays, and I'm so thankful for that. So, anyway, what amazing opportunity to get around people like that. You push for people that are doing amazing things. And if you want to do amazing things, hang around those kind of people, right? So, all right. Anyway, we're all about connection and community building here. And that is why we basically talk to amazing people that know how to connect. And that's what the theme is of this show. And like I said, when you're getting yourself around the right people, which is what I do here, that's why I hang out with Lisa Marree all the time, hanging out with great people that really elevate my game, elevate my mindset, and that helps. And of course, I love to connect. So you can connect with me, anybody at russhedge.com. In fact, you can go there and not only connect with me on social media, my email, my phone number, you can also schedule time right on my calendar to Zoom with me. We can have a quick Zoom and get to know each other, connect. I would love for you to do that. So go to russhedge.com today. Also, it would be awesome if you subscribe to my YouTube page. It is growing. We're having such a great community there. And I'll tell you what, not only are all of the live streams, Marketing with Russ, The Experience, Live with Russ and Scott, The Experience Local, and Russ Reels Live, they're all there. But also, YouTube Shorts have some amazing things like the marketing tip of the day that we'll do in just a moment. But beyond that, my amazing animals are there. Maddie and Maisie, my beagle and cat, who I have found are way more popular than I am. So if you want to smile and have some fun, subscribe to my YouTube and check out YouTube Shorts, and you will definitely enjoy that. All right. So also, if you would be so kind as to share this out today, that'd be so great. Tag your friends, let them know. Listen, Marketing with Russ is on. Lisa Marree is back on. You don't want to miss it. So if you could do that today, that would help us so much. And I'd appreciate that. Okay. Besides that, behind me, my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. You do not want to miss getting a copy of that. You can get it, believe it or not, at russhedge.com. See, if I was faster, it'd be on the screen. There you go. russhedge.com. All my books are there. Or you go to Amazon. They're all on Amazon. You can even get a companion workbook to Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose on Amazon. And they're also available at other online booksellers. And if you're local in Oregon, they're available at local bookstores also. So love to have you pick up a copy of that. If you want to learn to live a life of purpose and on purpose, if you want to learn to live a life with a great perspective, a life of meaning and with a good mindset, and just approach it a good way. And if you want to learn more about me, then you can find all that out in my books. In fact, the collaborative anthologies I wrote after Befuddled, there's 4 of them, have a little bit about my cancer story and other stories of my life as well. So you want to check that out. All right. So we have one more thing before we get going, and that is our marketing tip of the day. We do this every Monday and Thursday. I got a good one for you today. I got a good one. I always think about my guests, and I think about what's going on in my life. This is to lift you up and point you in the right direction and help you just do amazing things. So are you ready? All right, here we go. I got to get my prop ready. Here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Raise the bar. Raise the bar. That's it. I am raising the bar. And I don't really mean like an actual bar, but this is a Lara bar, and it is my favorite treat. It's my favorite snack. So I was thinking about raising the bar. Go beyond ordinary, just like my guest says today. Go beyond ordinary, raise the bar, and realize you can accomplish more than you really realize. But you have to actually raise the bar. You got to put your wheels in motion. You got to take action, because thinking about it, planning, and believing are all good. But without action, they just fall flat, because you need the action to actually take place. You need to keep moving forward. You need to be raising higher. You need to be believing more and taking actions that will help you move in that direction, while gathering amazing people around you today to make your life better and help you learn more. So today, remember, raise the bar, go beyond ordinary, and that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. So that is our marketing tip of the day, and that'll get cut out, put out separately on YouTube Shorts and social media. You can share just that all by itself, and there's probably somebody in your life today that needs that. So I'd appreciate you sharing that out when you see it. And now it's time for one of my favorite guests who's here all the time. Let's give her a drum roll. Brrr, Lisa Marree. Woo-hoo.
Woo! I was like Kermit.
How's it going, Lisa?
I'm fantastic. And of course, I've got my pen in hand because I was taking notes, Russ.
There you go. Well, I appreciate that. You always make me feel good that you actually take notes of things that I say. So that's good.
I had a very good mentor, remember?
That is so true. An amazing mentor. Yes. That is another person that I wish that I would have had. Jim Rohn is another person I wish I would have been able to be around personally. And like I said, it's amazing that I get to be around people both related to and lifelong friends of Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
That's a big deal. But being around people like that are so inspiring, So, okay, backing up.
And we can do the whole show basically on your opening today because, and I'd love to dive into that if you don't have another juicy topic we can talk about.
No, that's great. Let's do it. Let's start off by just for the one or two people that have not seen you and don't know who Lisa Marree is. Who is Lisa Marree and what are you up to?
She's a gal from down under. I've got the winter glow going on here. I got the sun beaming in. So, oh gosh. Well, I wear many hats. I've been a medical scientist, a holistic nutrition and fitness coach. But what Russ is talking about your purpose. I had a lot of hardship in my past, and what I found within myself, which is what my teachings are, is teaching people how to unlock their infinite ability, how to become limitless. And I really work in the women in my stage of life, which is that menopause to postmenopause. And basically, I help them navigate the storm to literally take on what this purpose is teaching people to become healthy, strong, an abundant mind, and just be capable of doing anything that you want to in this next chapter of life, because we can have it all, and we just got to remove some of the shackles, right?
Right. And, I love what you just said too, because you know what? You can have it all, like you said, if you raise the bar, you go beyond ordinary, like we talked about, and you actually believe you can do it. Now, yeah. I'm not going to tell people that everything is humanly possible for them. Like, yes, you can run around the entire world in 1 hour. I mean, there's things that are just physically and crazy that we can't do. I understand that. But within the normal realm of life and actually pushing that realm a little bit, there is so many amazing things that are possible if you only believe and take action, right?
Yes, that's the thing. Sometimes we might not believe in the beginning, but it's taking those small action steps, and action builds confidence, right? And confidence builds competence. And then that starts to change our belief system. Of course, Jim Rohn's going to come in right now.
Well, and let me say something too, that belief system. Okay, here's a really good example. It's impossible, somebody will say, right? Well, you're right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say it's impossible, it is. Okay, a 4-minute mile is impossible. And so no one could ever run that fast, right? Well, what happened? Somebody didn't believe that, and they beat that 4-minute time. And guess what happened? Suddenly, everybody started thinking that was good runners in that field. Sure, not everybody can run under a 4-minute mile. I understand that, but people can actually do that. And these people started saying, we can do this. And then person after person after person, suddenly we're beating that, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a mindset within your skill, talent, and your abilities, obviously, right?
Yes.
But see, and you should never sell yourself short. Let me give one other quick example, and then I'll let you take it. And that is, so there's people. Let's just say, let's just use myself as an example. I had a knee replacement. I can't run that fast. I literally can't run that far, and I could not physically run a 4-minute mile. But that doesn't make me fall short of the things that I am great at and be able to achieve way more than others in other areas, right? There's other areas that I'm really strong at. So it's not beating yourself up because you can't do everything, but it's believing that you can do amazing things within the realm of what's humanly possible for you. And I just think people sometimes get waylaid because I'll never be in the NBA. When I was a little boy, I thought I'd be in the NBA. I thought I'd be famous and, be playing basketball. That didn't happen, but that's okay because other great things that I never imagined happened, right? So anyway, take it from there.
Exactly. Well, we're titanium twins. I got a prosthetic hip. We could do a really good 3-legged race.
There we go. Yeah. But we can both walk. That's good.
Yes. Well, I couldn't beforehand. So,
Right.
and so it really is the few inches between your ears. Right. And the interesting thing, I'm going to just digress a little bit and get a bit nerdy science with you. Dennis Waitley, he's another great leadership speaker of the era from Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar. And he was also on the Olympic sports panel, nerdy people, because he was doing a lot of research about plugging people into all sorts of brain readers and so forth. And when an athlete was running the race in their mind, their entire body fired off as though they were actually physically running the race. All of the biochemical changes, the muscle twitches, like the brain activity, everything changed as soon as they engaged in that focus. Their body responded through the vision exactly as though it was doing it physically. And so when we understand that concept, and what you said is exactly right. Well, it's impossible for me to do. I can't do that. I've tried that before and it doesn't work. Well, that is your self-fulfilling prophecy. So as soon as you start to change and say, well, I'm going to try a different way and start to visualize the outcome of me actually going through that and doing that thing, then you do things that you couldn't do before. And the Jim Rohn always spoke about extraordinary living. And if you think of the word extraordinary, people live an average, people live an ordinary life. If you want an extraordinary life, you've got to do extra stuff.
Right.
And that just means take more action,
right.
Be more consistent. And that, at the end of the day, just builds confidence. And when you're confident in something, you do it more. The brain gets a happy signal that, hey, you're doing good. And that's the kind of dopamine that we can actually thrive on, not the instant gratification scroll thing.
Right.
And
right.
Tony Robbins, who was Jim's student, took on, you're talking about raise the bar. He has a famous quote of raise your standards. And we only live to our self-identity. We hit that ceiling and then we come back down. So if you raise your standards, raise your bar, guess what? You're going to make that little bit of progress. And it's an attitude, but you got to hang around the people who are doing it well to help you. So you get caught up in the energy.
Well, that's just it. And it starts getting you believing that you can do it, when you hang around the right people. So just like the 4 minute mile, all the runners that looked up to and ran and hung around the first person that broke the 4 minute mile, I forget his name right off the bat, but the whole idea is that he gave everybody the feeling that it was possible to be done. And then as a next person, the next person, the next person did it. That's why there's world records that continue to get broken. They think this is as fast as you can run this. And then the next year somebody breaks that and runs it faster. It's because people just keep raising the bar. They keep believing for more. And, really what it boils down to Lisa, is just showing up. I think that's such a big thing. I don't mean that. I shouldn't use the word just, but showing up is so important. And why is that so important? Because that's where it all begins, because people think they can't do it, so they don't show up. But when you think it's possible, you show up and you start taking one step after the other, and more good things happen because you're believing it's more is possible, right?
Just is a very powerful word. You think of the Nike slogan. It's not do it. It's just do it. Like that just has such a powerful, it's like the 5-second rule. Just do it. Going back to the runner thing, it's a case of if they can do it, so can I. And I'm not talking about we're all going to turn into runners. I'm talking about the life concept here.
Right.
It's about anything. But I was a competitive swimmer as a child. And we had Australian champions, world champion qualifiers, and even an Olympian in our squad. And I was just like this little 6 or 7-year-old looking up to these people, being so inspired and just dreaming that one day that's going to be me. And the coach would actually put us in the lane with these fast people. And the reason they did that was because they would lap us crazily. If they come up behind us, when a swimmer wants to take over you, they don't politely pull out. They're on your heels. They're like smacking you until you just stop and get out of the way. I got sick of my heels getting smacked. So guess what? You swim faster.
Right. Yeah, so exactly.
There's a real method in that kind of coaching.
There was there's some big mountains in Oregon. It's a small little mountain. They called it a mountain, but it's really a little hill. And but a lot of guys ran this hill. This was in the city that I went to college in at Oregon State. And so as I got older, I went back to this hill, and I had friends that said, "Oh, you're a runner. Come run the hill with us." Well, first of all, I wasn't really a runner. I ran because I enjoyed running with my dog and the exercise, but I wasn't really like a competitive runner. And so I also ran on flat ground. So this was a new revelation for me. Let's just say here, I'm going to bring myself, there we go. Let's just say that the first time I ran this hill, I had to make a choice about 2/3 of the way up the mountain. And the choice was either to throw up my entire breakfast right there, or to walk for a little while, get my breath, and then finish. I wasn't going to stop, but I was, I had to think about that. So I started walking. I quit running for a little bit, but it really hurt my pride thinking that why can't I run this? Yeah. So you know what that did? That made me go home and practice running hills. In fact, I had a treadmill that I could raise and run on it like I'm running hills. And so I didn't have to have hills around my house. I could actually run hills right in my house. So anyway, I worked out, I got ready, and guess what happened the next time? Next time I ran all the way up that hill with no problem. And what was the difference? My determination, what I thought was possible, got there, and I just made a difference. I didn't feel like a big failure because I didn't do it the first time. And
but I think you took action to change that.
What?
You took action to change that. You trained your body to be able to go up inclines rather than flat land.
And I think that's what we all have. I'm all about live the life you choose. We get to a point where we either say I'm a failure and I can't do it, or we take the challenge on and we go beyond, right? We do that extra So we're extraordinary. We do it, right? And sure, not everybody can do that most of the time. Things like that are because they just don't put the effort in, right? Some people are physically not able. I understand that, but the average person could run this thing that I did if they put a little effort in and worked on it. And so, back to the point that you're right. You take a look at what's ahead of you. You take some extra action. You train. You do whatever you need to do. Same thing with your mind, Lisa. Let's talk about that a second. I'm just not smart. I'm stupid. I really can't get it. Well, again, self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I hear that from people all the time. I'm really not that smart. I can't really do that. I can't do those things. Well, okay, you're right, because you keep telling yourself that. But if you believe you can, if you work on that, and I definitely, with all that I've been through, I have some mental challenges because of fatigue and because of stress and because of medicine and all kinds of things. So I work to overcome those things as well. You can't overcome those things, but it's training your mind, right?
Yes, yes. I'm going to share a secret between you and I.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. But I was not that smart going through my degree in medical science because I am not, here's a self-fulfilling prophecy, I'm not particularly good at math. And science
Me
has
either.
a lot of physics, chemistry, and
Right.
statistics in it. And I had to get through all of that before I could do the fun stuff of everything about the human body. So because I needed help, I had to, and as a student, you're as poor as anything, but I had to pay a tutor to help me get through the math component of my science degree. So when I say, I'm a medical scientist, they say, oh, you must be smart. And I said, well, actually, being an academic is very different to being passionate about something. If you really love something, you're not necessarily good at it, especially in the beginning. But when you actually keep doing over and over, and this was another Jim Rohn saying, over and over and over and over, and repetition is the mother of all craft.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 hours, it's a in your face kind of comment. And I actually bought this book out today, but I know we won't have time, so I'll talk about it again. But this is
Next
Shannon
time.
Lee. Sorry?
I said next time.
Yes, Shannon Lee is the daughter of Bruce Lee, and she wrote
Oh,
one of his most famous quotes is "Be water, my friend." Now that is going to take on 1,000 meanings when we talk about it. But you think of Bruce Lee was, yes, he was a martial artist, but he was also a philosopher.
right.
But he trained for 10 hours a day in his craft to be the global phenomena that he is today. Even though he passed away at 32 in 1972, he's still living this bigger than ever person because he mastered things. Oh, sorry, I just had a rush of goosebumps. We're going to end on this, Russ, because I know time's up.
Okay.
It's becoming a master in what you want to achieve.
Right.
And mastery is only through repetition, and then you're going to get it eventually, as long as you
Well,
don't give up.
that is so good because I believe that, because when I teach people, marketing skills and community building skills, it's all about showing up and starting, but then it's all about doing it over and over and over, repetition, right? It is about doing the things you need to do, but then continuing to do that. And is so important. I just want to say one thing on that before we end, and I will give you the last word, kind of, I guess, because then I do actually have the last word. But anyway, so uh, when you have something you're passionate about, doesn't mean you still don't have to go through things that you don't really love, right? I love what I do, but in my business, I hate invoicing and billing and collecting and all of that. I hate that. I know hate's a strong word, but I think it's very appropriate for me because I hate doing that. But I get through it and I do it because it's necessary for me to live my life, right? And my business to survive. So what you said is so important. When I was a kid, I hated math. My skill set is not in the mathematic fields either, right? But I had to get through it to get through school. It was a necessary evil. I love school, all the things. I love playing football and basketball and music and I loved writing and all of those things, right? And speaking, but math was not my thing. But I got a tutor also. I was young and I took algebra that I could not even begin to grasp what X meant and Y meant and all that. I had no idea. My tutor was really good and he actually got me to understand the main elements of algebra. And suddenly, because I was always a good student, suddenly I stopped practically failing my tests to getting A's on my tests because I suddenly understood the concept and I was able to do it. So the whole idea is working and training to get through things that are tough, like you said, to get to where you can be extraordinary in the things you're passionate about. And with that, I'm going to let you wrap things up. Give us your gold nugget of the day and help people get in touch with you. And let's wrap her up.
If you do want to live well, you've got to do the extra so you don't remain ordinary. That's pretty much it.
There you go.
And you can find me at lisamarree.com, just like Russ. We just like our name.com, nice and simple, and also on LinkedIn. And I've built an app, Russ.
You built an app?
I have. It's taken me a couple of years talking about consistency and never giving up because
right.
Guess what? Tech is like math. Oh man, I've cried and screamed at my computer so many times over the last couple of years. So lots of interesting things about that. Of course, all the things that I love to do to help people will be in that I'll be in people's pocket.
And I'm sure that on your website and LinkedIn and all that, you'll have information about how to get that app, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, in the next few weeks it will, yes.
Perfect. Well, listen, I'm going to say that all the information, not only is Lisa Marree's LinkedIn been ticking along the bottom, her website has been in the comments, it's in the show notes, it's sitting there right on the screen under her picture. And I'm telling you, go to lisamarree.com today or connect with her on LinkedIn or however it works good for you and make sure and reach out because she has so much value. And like all the things that we have on the comments and the show notes are all clickable. So you don't have to remember anything. Just click on it and go to it and go straight to her. And that is a great way to do it. And as always, Lisa, we'll schedule another time. We can talk about the book next time.
Yes.
And been a blessing. I'm going to send you to the green room and hang tight for a second. We'll chat in a sec.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Russ.
Oh, there we go. That's you. So you got to learn how to use the show, actually. There you go. Okay. Yeah. This is when you're producing the show and clicking on the wrong things. There you go. Well, everybody, it's been amazing, as always. Lisa Marree has so much great information. You definitely need to get in touch with her. I'm so glad you were able to be here today. As always, please share the marketing tip of the day when you see that coming out on YouTube Shorts or social media. Also, please share this. If you're watching on replay, please put hashtag Team Replay and comment, say hi to people. You can still network and connect in the comments even after the show's over. Tag people, let them know what's going on and tag them and say hi to them. It's a great way to actually build community. So today, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to raise the bar and go beyond ordinary, be extraordinary. You can do it. And have a great rest of your week. And until next time, every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We'll see you. Have a good one. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.